When you start your business on Amazon, you might find it a little bit of a struggle with all the time that is required to do all of the tasks for you to become successful on Amazon. Especially that in the beginning, most people start this Amazon journey and their Amazon business while doing something else, maybe having a full-time job or even another business on the side. That's why in this episode of Power Your E-commerce Business, I'm interviewing Gilad from VAA Philippines Virtual Assistance Academy, Philippines. We're going to be talking about all of the requirements of finding the right virtual assistant to assist you in growing your Amazon business. When exactly should you start recruiting a virtual assistant, and how do you choose the right person that's going to be dedicated to your business, to growing your Amazon store, and be the right person for whatever tasks you want them to perform? Let's get going. So Gilad, you know, somebody starts their Amazon journey, they're starting it as a side business, they want to grow their company, they want to grow their business on Amazon, and then they realize they basically don't have a lot of time to manage their Amazon business. When do you think is the right time for someone to get someone to help them? And definitely, we're going to be talking about VAs for sure, but when do you think is it the right time for an Amazon seller to get someone to add to their team?
Well, so the thing is this, I mean, in my belief, and for doing this for over 5 years, we've noticed that the right time for you to do it is when you already know what you're doing, when you've done things yourself, when you have the experience in doing things, when you've passed some time into finding products to launch, you've launched a few products already, you know how to do your PPC, you've tried on social media, you know what you want, and then you hire VAs to do it for you because you know how to manage them. If you're hiring VAs from a position of, you know what, I don't have the time to do anything, I don't know anything about Amazon, let's hire somebody who calls himself an expert and have this one manage all my accounts and actually maybe I learned in the same time from this person. That's not going to work. This is VAs, they're not mentors, they're not like teachers, their job is to assist you, virtual assistants, to assist you when you are the one managing them. So first of all, the point to start is when you've done some things yourself, you don't have to spend years in doing things, but you have to estimate how much time it takes you and which struggles the VA is going to have in order to understand when the VA is giving you reports, to understand what he's reporting to, he or she. You have to understand and how to correct them, and if they're making mistakes, to correct and work together as a team. So that's one thing that is super important.
That's perfect.
I have a lot of sellers that they're already like high-level sellers that are using our VAs, and they say to us that I have always waited until I get to a certain level of selling, and then I can take my VA. And when they do, they say, why didn't I take it before? So it's not really, you don't have to wait until you make a 100K a month in order to hire a first VA. VA is an investment that you have to take in order to grow and scale faster, but you have to know what you're doing and in order to have a VA. That's my opinion in here.
Perfect. And it's very important what you just said regarding the fact that you need to know this, that whatever task you're going to give to a VA.
Yeah.
So moving on from that, I know you get this a lot and I get this a lot as well. When you want to hire a VA, number one, where can you find a good VA? Right. Number two, how do you actually assess if they are the right and suitable person to work with you?
Very good question. It takes us, we have, the recruitment process that we have takes almost 2 months. So it's not an easy answer to say, you just filter them in 5 minutes. Yeah. It takes a lot of time because you have to start from a point of view that you should not really count on what VAs say about themselves on their CVs, or how do they act in the first interview. A lot of times they will be very secure of themselves in the first interview. They will say, I've done this, I've done that, I manage this. They will have very good English, and they are convincing in the first interview. But that's not going to guarantee that they're going to be motivated and capable of and serious in staying with you for years. So you should not count on the first interview. You should not count on what the experience they say about themselves. You never know who taught them what. You never know if it's not exaggerated or manipulated a little bit.
Just like any CV, basically.
When I started, I posted an ad and I got 300 people applying.
Oh my God.
And they
300
yeah,
people.
300
Yeah.
people. I thought, where am I going to find VAs? And then the problem became the opposite. They're all experts apparently.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen that way. So we are taking 2 months because we know that we should not count on experience. In fact, experience doesn't tell you anything about their motivation level, their dedication, if they're serious enough to stay with you for years, or they're just looking for another line to put on their CV to get a higher rate.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell you about their capability of learning new things, complicated things, and apply them correctly. And these things are much more important compared to knowledge. Knowledge could be trained. We can take somebody with the right capabilities and the intelligent and train them fairly fast, compared to taking somebody with a lot of experience that is not motivated and doesn't want to do and learn anything new, and it's going to be a catastrophe. So we invest a lot in that. So the first thing I would say is not to count on what they say, but really test them and to know that it takes time. You cannot find somebody in a day or in an interview. You need to gather information and start filtering. If you have the time and availability to do it yourself, then great. I mean, we do it because we've already are trained and we have the experience in filtering VAs that way. But one of the things that we do in the beginning when you're posting an ad, and there are a lot of places to post ads. I mean, you can post on Facebook. There are a lot of Facebook groups over there, either in the Philippines. We focus on the Philippines.
Yes.
But there are other countries as well. But you can post an ad over there. You can post, there is an online jobs page that you have a lot. It's not for Amazon, but it's for everything on e-commerce. You can find people over there. So the problem is not really where you find VAs, is how you filter the right ones. And I can give you a tip that we do in the beginning. Really, like step number one that we do is in the ad itself. So instead of just saying, we're hiring an Amazon expert, please send your CV and tell us that you're an expert. Ask them to, test to see if they even read your post. A lot of them, they're just, they copy paste it and send it to 1,000 people in order to catch the right one. So don't count on that. Try to implement a sentence, a question over there. For example, resumes should be sent to a different mail, okay? So not just reply to this one. Send your resumes to recruiting@VAA Philippines, for example, okay? And tell us in your answer, if you go to Amazon and look for a baseball hat, which, what is the number one, send us the ASIN that is number one ranked under baseball hats, for example. So you're forcing them to read it.
So smart.
You're forcing them to read it. So you're already noticing that it's somebody that actually read your article, your post.
Your post.
And then they spent some time, they thought, okay, this is for me. I want to spend some time into actually going to Amazon, doing a research, posting it, following the instructions, which is super important. A lot of people, they don't follow instructions, they just do it fast. So it already filters for you, like I would say, 50% of the people. So instead of 300, now you have 150. So it's still a lot, and there's still a lot of way to go, but you don't have to interview now 300 people.
Yes.
So that's I would start there.
Would you suggest once you interview someone, you would just, I feel maybe people that are interviewing VAs are coming from a place of, please help me, please fix my business. So instead of having that type of mindset, you need to think, this person is taking a very big chunk of my business. They're handling, so this is like, I'm not going to give over my business to just anyone. So you need to have that mentality and challenge them to try to figure out if, if they don't know, then that's fine. Like you said, we can, they can be trained.
A lot of people, when I interviewed VAs in the beginning, like 7 years ago, I really wanted them to feed me with what I wanted to hear. So tell me about your experience. Oh, you have 2 years experience in managing Amazon accounts. Perfect. This is what I need.
That's what I need.
And instead of that, you should focus on the tasks that you want to give the VA to do. And the next step, before even an interview. Before an interview, we are not there in the interview yet. You don't waste your time on 150 interviews. So the next step could be, for example, giving them a task which involves like bigger, for example, again, if it's Amazon, if it's related to Amazon, go on this listing, read the reviews, tell us what you think about the most repeating review out there, and you know how you would recommend to fix this problem, you know. And then if they read, you can see that they read the reviews, you can see that they actually found the review that repeats itself several times. They thought about, okay, this, everybody are complaining that the pan is breaking too easily, how can I fix it? And it's already a lot of things that you can see about their character, their personality, their commitment level.
Yes.
And that's already another way to filter. The more you filter them that way, it takes you a lot of time. We have a recruitment department for that. But it's, in the end, you will have somebody that will stay with you for years, that will be dedicated to you and will have the capabilities, instead of just telling you that they have experience on Amazon, which doesn't tell you anything and is not something that you can work with for the long run.
I want you to tell everyone about VA Philippines, because you know you started this from you are an Amazon seller, and you started this because you started this company because you found that there was a need. You had the need in the beginning, and there is a need. So tell us a little bit more about the company, what you do, and I also want you to tell everyone the fact that you actually check if the customers are ready for your VAs, not that just because they want a VA, let's go for it. You want to make sure that they are choosing the right person for their business. Before we continue with this interview, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and make sure you leave us a comment in the comment section below. If you want more information about how Amazon Sellers Society can help you set up your very own store on Amazon, then all you need to do is you can go to our website, www.assmiddleeast.org. You can find out about all of our programs, including our Done For You service. Let's get back to the video.
All right. So, I mean, when I started this as a seller, the business was growing. I was selling on Amazon together with my wife. We started this business, and we needed VAs for ourselves. And I was hiring VAs from the Philippines. I posted an ad. I got, like I said, 300 people applying. I started to interview them one by one, and I wasted a lot of time and effort on that. I thought that I knew what I was doing. I chose the one that was the best, with the best experience and the best on the first interview, exactly what I said to avoid. And then I started training her from scratch about Amazon. And then after a month of spending time together and teaching her, she just disappeared. And I had to start all over again. She stopped answering. Exactly like
this
that.
Is too much work.
I guess she wanted to have the information, getting the knowledge, and moving forward to somebody else with a better price, maybe.
Probably.
So, then it took me some time to realize that she actually disappeared. And then I did it again. I said, okay, let's go to number 2 on the list, but that person was no longer available. So you have to post another ad and start all over again. And then I saw a lot of excuses. Somebody started working with me, and then there is a typhoon and internet problems. And I realized that you have to become an expert into finding the right people, because the more I do it, the better VAs I find. And that's what we do now. So at VAA Philippines, what we do is we recruit virtual assistants from the Philippines, and we train them specifically on Amazon to work with Amazon sellers. Our focus is only on Amazon. We invest a lot into the recruitment process. Like I said, it takes almost 2 months to find our VAs. They pass a very long process of filtering and interviews and tests and so on. And in the end, we find those that are really dedicated, that are here for the long run, that are capable of learning complicated things. And then we start training them. And at that point, we divide them into 4 different departments. So in a nutshell about each department, we have the Amazon department. That's basically everyone every task that you can think of on Seller Central, except for PPC. Like customer service, shipment plans, inventory management, finding products, suppliers, customer service, all that. So that's the Amazon department. The second department would be the PPC department. It's a different type of VAs over there. Third department would be social media. Again, posting on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, working with influencers. So that's the social media department. And we also have graphic designers and video editors to work with. So our customers, they're either high-level sellers, even aggregators, managing agencies. And if it's intermediate, even to beginners, it's important for me to understand where they're coming from. So what's their knowledge already? If it's somebody that comes to me and say, like I said before, they have no experience whatsoever, I don't think that it's the right position for them to hire a VA.
Yes.
It's okay to be a beginner and hire VAs.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people, they have family and kids and another job, so this is like a sidekick for them in the beginning. They just don't have the time to do everything themselves. But they need to see this as a risk, and they need to see that they, in the same time, they continue to learn and develop in order for them to really understand what the VA is reporting to them.
Exactly.
So they could see if the VA is doing a mistake. If the VA will just recommend them, okay, this is a golden product, go for this one, and they've never done this before, they would not even know to estimate if it's the right decision, and they will put a lot of money into it. So that's why it's important for them to have done this already and now starting to hire VAs.
I love the fact that you've got everything categorized when it comes to tasks. That's how our agency operates, because we believe, you know, multitasking is fantastic, but at the end of the day, you need to, you know, a really good product researcher, for example, it's a little bit tough for them to also be fantastic with PPC ads.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
focus on this, be really, really good at this, or focus on that and be really, really good on that. It's so much easier for a human being to be able to do that. So that's fantastic that you actually have it like this. Because normally when you reach out to a VA, they can do everything, and it's not natural.
They're selling themselves, you know. They're trying to get your attention, and a lot of people, this is what they want. They want Supermans. They want Supermans that can do everything. And they say, you know what? If somebody can do my PPC customer service in the same time, could post from time to time on Facebook, and if they can do some graphic designing, then perfect. That's the person I'm looking for. And what we found out is
that doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist, or they're not entrepreneurs, or they will not be experts in everything. Even us, we're not experts in everything.
Of course.
So instead of that, you can hire a PPC VA for even 2 hours a day, instead of hiring somebody full-time job. So hire a PPC VA that specializes on PPC, and that person is coming from a background of working with numbers, Excel, analyzing data. You know, this is what they love to do. And you're going to hire another person doing your social media who's going to be exactly the opposite of your PPC guy or girl. I mean, it's somebody that's really creative and can express herself really good in English, and is really all about social media and being able to think as the brand. So that's completely different characteristic compared to the PPC VA. So it's much better to work with several types of VAs, and you don't have to work with all of them full-time job, at least not in the beginning.
Very insightful information and knowledge from Gilad. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure meeting Gilad and all of the valuable information. Make sure you check out VAA Philippines. I'll leave all of the information in the description box of this video. You can reach out to him personally on LinkedIn or even on their website to ask some more questions. And don't forget to subscribe. You already watched the video, and I'm sure you found it very interesting. I'll see you in another video with more information. Bye.